Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harris and I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. And today, I'm doing it again. I'm going to try doing a TBR. So, I haven't done a TBR since last, May or June. And I'll tell you guys why I stopped doing TBRs. It was more fun not to, and to just go fuck it, I want to read something else. And it was cool to be able to switch stuff up, and I liked not feeling like I had failed if I hadn't read everything on the TBR. So that was why I stopped. Why I want to start again is I have not particularly planned my reading out in a way that's been kind of diverse this year. So I'm pretty certain I've only read White Men, which sucks. I would like to be a bit more diverse, and doing that does require you to plan a little bit. I mean, I don't know what I'm reading this month, but I do know what I'm reading, but I haven't I haven't looked into the authors that deeply for authors I've never read before. But I think I want to start doing more TBRs. I would like to, as I said, be a little bit more organised in my reading. And also, the one big thing that I know is that you guys as an audience love TBR videos. Like, I love TBR videos. I always watch all my favourite booktubers. I always watch their TBRs. It's like the only videos that I guaranteed will watch every time they put one out. Because it's a great way to get like a quick hit of, these are some books and these are why I'm interested. And so that's what I'm trying to give you guys here, which is I'm going to talk through 5 books and I'm going to tell you why I'm interested. Let's start off with the book that I will probably be reading first, which is The Third Rule of Time Travel by Philip Fracassi. This was kindly sent to me as a review copy by Orbit. They are absolutely lovely over there, and I said I was interested in reading this, and they sent me out this copy. This book, Mike from Mike's Book Reviews actually is reading this also in March, and he said basically this book was being talked about as a Blake Croucher-like sci-fi techno thriller, and as somebody who read 4 Blake Crouch books in the last couple of years and loved them all, that was an instant sell for me. I'll tell you a couple of other reasons why this is an instant sell. Number one, the cover's pretty good. Let's talk about it. I will happily buy a book based on its cover when I know it's in my genre, and this absolutely is one. I think the cover, not only the design of this cover, but also the design of the book with the red and white spine and the red section on the back. Huge fan. I do just like how well this is put together. Number two, it's only 300 pages, so that is very helpful. I'm currently trying to get a bit ahead on my reading so that I have more of a buffer when it comes to long books. And so I am picking out, where possible, I'm picking out from my selection books that are 300 pages instead of what I would say is my usual reads, which I would say are around 500 to 800 pages is what I would normally read. So giving myself a bit of space for the 800 pages to come later in the year and to take longer than a week. So I think with most books I tend to read 100 pages a day. So if I, for example, have an 800 page book, I know that will take me 8 days, which means that if I don't have headway when I go into an 800 page book, I won't get that review out on time, which did happen last week. I didn't get the review for The Black Mantle out. This is actually last week as I record, but 2 weeks ago when you watch this, because this is coming out in the first week of March. So didn't get the Black Mantle out in time, and part of that was being disorganized and reading 2 books at the same time, and one should have just focused on the Black Mantle. And I want to just get that buffer back, and I have now got a decent buffer for books. I've got like a 2-week one, and I'm hoping to get to like, 4. Then I've got a whole month's worth of books that I can, play video games instead of hardcore reading for a week if I really want to. So yeah, that's kind of one of the big proponents here. I'll read you guys the blurb on the back of this book. Rule 1, you can only travel to a point within your lifetime. Rule 2, you can only travel for 90 seconds. Rule 3, you can only observe. The rules cannot be broken. This is not the story you think you know, and the rules are only the beginning. This book sounds dope. Mike's Book Reviews, the way he pitched it, instantly pushed it into the TBR. I was considering it, but once he chatted about it a little bit, I was like, I have to read this. And again, lovely short book. If it's a super fast-paced techno thriller in the Blake Crouch mold, I can read like a 400-page Blake Crouch book in like a day and a half. So that will be fantastic for our buffer. Next up, after that, I don't know what I will be reading next, to be clear. I have a few books as... I have set out my TBR of the 5 books that I know I want to hit next month, but I don't know what I'll be reading directly after the third rule of time travel. But I'll tell you what the only other physical book that I'll be reading next month is, which is Knife of Dreams by Robert Jordan, the final Robert Jordan book, the 11th book in the Wheel of Time. So this is a chunker. Yeah, so this is 800 pages. This is 800 pages. It's the only book of this size that I will be reading next month. And my hope is that it won't take me 2 full weeks to read. But the point that I'm in the Wheel of Time, people say that this is one of the best books in the series. I'm excited about Wheel of Time stuff. I'm currently reading New Spring, so this probably won't be an early month read for me. I will probably read this a bit later in the month to give it a bit of a break between this and New Spring. But I am excited to get to this one, and a little bit sad that this is the last Robert Jordan book in the series. I've got a lot of time for Jordan. I've got a lot of time for the Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time, one of my favourite series of all time. And it's my big focus for this year is finishing the Wheel of Time. Once I get through Knife of Dreams, I will then be moving on to the Brandon Sanderson books. And Sanderson books, I can read like 200 to 300 pages a day of Sanderson. So those books will be real quick reads for me, I think. But all in all, really excited for this one. If you are reading Wheel of Time along with me and Matt, or you've just been following that series, we will definitely be getting the New Spring spoiler chat out in March. Don't know about the Knife of Dreams one. Usually our spoiler chats end up getting recorded about a week or so after we both finish the book. So we'll just see when Matt finishes, I guess, and when I finish. He's beaten me every book for the last like 3 books because I have been bad at planning my TBRs, and that's kind of another reason why we're doing this video right now. Next up, I have another buddy read book, which is Mushroom Blues by Adrian Gibson. Quick drink. So this is a fungal punk neo-noir. I know basically nothing about this book apart from there's a guy on the front who is a mushroom and a cop. It is kind of like a hard-boiled cop fiction in a what appears to be, to me, sci-fi world, although it was entered in SPFBO, so I guess it's fantasy. I'm reading this one with Philip over from Philip Chase. Very excited to read this one. I like noir fiction. I had a great time with New York Minute by Stephen Arion last year. And yeah, looking forward to reading this one. I've purposefully kind of stayed away from it so I can be excited and intrigued by the book. And Philip has already read and reviewed this book, and we said we would do a discussion about it on his channel. So I do need to get on that. And again, not having organised myself to read this was like a good prompt for me that I should be doing TBRs again. So yeah, the Mushroom Blues, I think that the guy, Adrian Gibson, who wrote it, has a fantasy fiction podcast. I think he's the Fan-Fi Addict guy. Maybe if Adrian wants to come on the channel, we could chat about his book as well. I really am looking forward to this one. This is something that's very different to everything else that I have set up next month. So yeah, looking forward to reading something a bit different. And speaking of a bit different, I also wanted to mop something else up, which is Brandon Sanderson's Reckoners series. So I have read the 3 books and the short story that was kind of published as a novella with some supplemental info, but is basically just a short story. So I have read those in the last month and a bit. And there is one thing left, which is an audio drama called Lux, which is an Audible exclusive. I've kind of been waiting for a credit to come in, I'll be honest with you. I've used all my Audible credits, and this month's one has just come in. So I will be picking up Lux by Brandon Sanderson. I'll be reading that one. This one's like a side story, I guess. It's basically about another team of Reckoners in the world of the Reckoners, which is his superhero fantasy world. It's kind of like a post-apocalypse dystopian society ruled over by kind of murder happy, insane supervillains. Really good world building and concept for the series, and so wanting another adventure in that has definitely I have definitely been wanting another adventure in that. And Lux being an audio only book when I am actually looking for good audio stuff next month, because obviously Mushroom Blues, I say obviously, I'm not sure if Mushroom Blues has an audio book, and I couldn't find the Third Rule of Time Travel audio book on Audible when I searched for it today. Not sure how many good audio experiences I have next month. And the new Monster Hunter game is out on Friday, and I will probably be playing a lot of that, but it's not, Monster Hunter barely has a story, so I will be playing that while listening to audiobooks probably. So I was trying to line up some good audio experiences for March. And so Lux seems like a really smart, it's also kind of short again, we're looking for buffers, so yeah, all around I think that this Lux will really, really work well for me. Next up we have the 5th and final book that I'm planning on reading next month, and this is something that is kind of paying is the wrong term. What's the right term? So this one is making good on a promise, which is reading The Wandering Inn. So near the end of last year, I hit a good stopping point in The Wandering Inn. So I hit a really good stopping point in The Wandering Inn, which meant, and I was looking to stop doing my weekly videos to make the channel a little bit more, what's the term? A little bit more sustainable. So I wanted to make the channel a bit more sustainable, so I stopped doing weekly Wandering Inn chapter videos. And the thing that I said was I was planning on reading one Wandering Inn volume per quarter, and this is not volume as they are on the website, but volume in terms of ebooks and audiobooks. So I was planning on reading one of those per quarter, and March is the end of Q1, so time to pay the piper, as it were. This is going to be a really good audio experience as well. I am about halfway through the book, I think. So that was when I stopped. I was told that was a good stopping point, although it is a very long book. I think it's over 40 hours on audio, and literally not available in print because it's so long. But yeah, looking forward to getting back to that world. One of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that I did get this in the quarter, in Q1, is because I don't want to have spent so long away from the Wandering In world that I struggle to get back into it. Pirate Abba does write these books in a way that I feel like you can take a few months away and come back, kind of taking inspiration from like webcomics and stuff like that, or well, other web novels, I guess. But yeah, I really like how you can take a bit of a break and come back. But I'm hoping to finish Volume 2 in March. So what that will end up being is probably like 20 hours of audio book and like a few hundred pages if it was like a physical book, because it's only half the volume. So if I do finish that, then there's a bunch of stuff that will come out of that. So, you know, we've got spoiler discussions with other booktubers possibly, and also I will probably do a full spoiler review for this one, because all of my Wandering In content in the past has been spoiler, so maybe we'll do like a full spoiler review and a spoiler free why you should read the Wandering In updated for having read volume 2. So if you'd be interested in either of those videos, please do comment down below, because I'll probably choose which one I make first based on the interest level in the comments here. So like if you're a Wandering In fan and you're subbed to the channel for Wandering In stuff, I'll make sure that that book cover is in the thumbnail anyway, and then hopefully you'll see it and you'll be able to come in and comment down below and let me know what your preference is. So spoiler or spoiler free video first. I'm imagining spoiler, because if you're a fan of the Wandering In, you know, you've probably read like 9 books or whatever. But yeah, so looking forward to getting back into that world. And the final interlude chapters that I read before I stopped reading the series were really good, to the point where like I was like, oh, I kind of wish I hadn't planned on stopping reading here because they are so good. But looking forward to getting back to those characters, to that world, and finishing off that volume. I'm going to be really interested to see how the book reads as a binge read, because I've never binge read The Wandering In. Like the most chapters I've read, even in a single week, was like 4, and that was when the chapters were short. So yeah, I've been binge reading this one, and I do think I will enjoy it more, because I enjoy binging TV shows more than I enjoy watching them week to week. Like, you know, Severance is out at the moment, and I've specifically not watched that week to week so that I can binge it. Did the same with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and had a fantastic time just watching that whole thing in a day. Great show, by the way. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It is very good. Animation's iffy, but show is worth the while watching. But yeah, so let me know what you're reading in March. Are you going to be joining me and reading any of these books? I would certainly love to chat with you guys in the comments down below and in the comments on the reviews of those books. Every single book will be getting a review on the channel. I review everything that I read unless I DNF it. Any book that I do DNF, I'll probably tell you guys why, but I've only DNF'd like 3 books since starting the channel, so I should probably do that more often, because there are some books that I should have DNF'd and didn't. But anyway, so yeah, let me know what you're reading. Let me know whether you like TBRs or you like my reading pattern being a little bit more freeform. And if there's anything that you would like to like buddy read along with me and be like, oh, I'd love to hear a full spoiler review or discussion or something after the review for any of these books, please let me know. While you're on your way down there to comment about what you're looking forward to reading in March, please do like the video if you liked it. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, and you would I would love to have you as part of our small but perfectly formed community. I think that we have a great time over here on the channel, in the comments, and chatting about books. And I would love to see all of you guys more often and grow this community into a place where we can truly start doing some bigger stuff, like start doing community buddy reads and live streams and things like that, which I would love to do, but until it feels like it's worthwhile for you guys as an audience for me to be doing those things, and taking time away from, reading the books, I haven't really thought about doing them yet. Also, one final thing is that all of my videos are now available as podcasts on YouTube Music, and I'm working on getting those onto Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. So if you prefer to listen to these videos instead of read them, then watch them, then you can subscribe to the podcast. Thanks so much for watching, and I will speak to you on Friday.